Someone DM'd me a couple weeks ago on Instagram and they asked, what does blunder mean? And to me, that seems very obvious because, I've been playing chess forever. Blunder's like one of the first things you learn. But that made me realize chess has its own language that not everybody like really knows. And even when I was like doing research, I learned there are words that even I don't know. And I've been playing this game for like 17 years. That's a long time. So I'm gonna make a video about it of all the chess terminology that you may know, that you may not know, and other words that you think you know but you really don't. Because I went to college for marketing, I did a lot of slideshows. So I thought, let me just, make a slideshow for you guys so you can see exactly what I'm talking about and, put some of that work to use. So, boom. Chess terminology you need to know. Bum, ba-da-da. Number one, we have our chapters, our agenda for today. We have the common but misunderstood, chess slang, advanced words, please get a life, and then my slang. Um, Really, number one, number two are probably the ones you're going to interact with the most, but like three, four, and five, you should probably know if you're going to watch my videos. We're at level one. Common misunderstood, 800 elo and below. Okay. First off, we got the blunder. Very bad mistake, usually losing material to game. This one, learn it. You're going to be making a lot of it, especially if you don't know what it is already. So for instance, in this instance right here, I'm pointing like you can see. Can you see my mouse? You can. Boom. So we got our queen. We moved our queen back because we didn't want to trade for whatever reason. But now we left this knight hanging. That is a blunder, a substantial loss of material. All it is, okay? Up next, we got inaccuracy. Inaccuracy is a weaker move, but it's not like we're losing like a blunder. So for this instance, the knight goes out to this square right here, and this is an inaccuracy because this bishop can now go here with tempo on this pawn because, this is pinned. We're going to learn about that a little bit later. But now, boom, this knight can actually attack. While, yes, they can still defend, it's an accuracy because there's a better move that can happen. It's not the end of the world, but, as you get better, you should start paying attention to those things. Up next, we have a mistake, which is you and me. Stronger than an inaccuracy, but weaker than a blunder. I feel like this one's pretty self-explanatory. It's just not a good move. But, obviously not like game ending. We got swindle. Swindle is a clever resource to save a lost position. It's a verb. Use it as a verb. If you don't know what a verb is, you should be paying attention in school. I know some of my kids that I coach are watching this. Go pay attention in school and get off your phone. Yeah, that's all I got. Boom. Pin. So a pin's one of the first tactics that we're going to talk about. A piece can't move without exposing something more valuable behind. More often than not, you're going to be pinning a piece to a rook, a piece to a queen, piece to a king. This is going to be considered an absolute pin. Absolute pin means the pin piece cannot move because you can't put your king in check. A relative pin would be like if there was a queen behind. Like, yes, you can move it. It's probably not a good idea. Those are the two differences, but that's a pin. Up next, we got Hanging Pawns, aka one of the best YouTubers of all time. This is a meme. His name is actually Hanging Pawns on YouTube. You should definitely go check him out. But hanging pawns are just two side-by-side pawns that can be strengths or weaknesses. I thought this would be a little bit too difficult to like explain, but it's something you should know. It's just two pawns side by side. They either march up together or they get eaten. Whatever happens, happens. Discovered attack, another important tactic. In this instance, if the pawn moves forward, it reveals an attack on the opponent's king. Discovered attack, like, whoa, what happened? Simple enough. Overloaded piece. This one I was struggling how I was gonna show you guys this, but I think you guys can visualize. Let's do some visualization. So this pawn right now is defending both the bishop and the knight. Okay, it's doing two jobs and it shouldn't be, right? So let's say it's our move. We decide to take this bishop. That pawn's going to take back, right? Well, who's going to defend this knight? Nobody. So now we're going to take this piece and we're going to be up one piece. That is overloading. Overloading works really well on like pieces of high value. So like queens and stuff like that, because they can't. You don't want to lose them for anything. So like, we'll always look out for overloaded pieces. If you see two pieces out, they're only defended by one thing. There's a tactic probably showing up somewhere. Up next, we got the skewer. Kind of reminds you of the pin. Yeah, it's a reverse pin. Just the valuable pieces up front. So like if this was a king, the king would have to move. Boom, you take the rook. Here it's a queen. Queen's got to move. Boom, you take the rook. You win something. Next, we got the backwards pawn. This is a little bit more advanced, but I think a beginner should still know. So if these black pawns are going down the board and the white pawns are going up, this is considered a backwards pawn because its neighbors are in front of it and it can't like be supported by, another pawn, which makes it extremely weak. Um, like this king is going to be forced to defend this pawn, but now this pawn can like march up the board and win. This is a completely winning position for white. If you have the option, avoid setting yourself up with backwards pawns. It's just never good. Up next, we got the outpost. Outpost goes a little bit hand in hand with a backwards pawn, as you see right here. Backwards pawn, backwards pawn, backwards pawn. And now we have two outposts. So it's just a strong square on your opponent's side of the board. So if we were to cut, this board in half right here on this line you see with my mouse, this is our opponent's side of the board. We want to put our pieces there. And we have this outpost because this pawn is defending this square. This rook really can't go in here without sacrificing material. Same here. Boom. It's just a really strong position. Now we have reached level 2, chess slang. Okay, this is stuff that's like not technically a word, but you should probably know it if you're gonna play online or just be in a chess community. So for starters, we got flagging. This one took me a long time to learn because I didn't grow up playing with a clock or online, so I just played over the board unlimited time. And yeah, flagging. So playing a position to win on time. Usually you're probably gonna be losing if you're gonna try to flag, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Just, if you're losing, just play that out. You might win on time. Dirty flag. I do this. I'm not gonna lie to you. So let's say white has 1 second left. Black has 5 seconds. In this position, it's obviously winning for white, but they only have 1 second, right? So what you would do is like go here, and I know here is supposed to be black's move. Don't worry about it. Let's say black were to go put their rook here and take this piece, right? There's no way white would have pre-moved this happening because it's a bad move. So it would have took them time to like calculate like, oh snap, that happened. I got to go reach for my mouse. Got to go move it, take it. They would have lost a second. They would have lost the game. That's called a dirty flag. Just sacrificing material to make the clock run out. It's actually a good tactic. You should really learn it. Up next, we got the mouse slip. Get to the meme. Yeah. Just making a wrong move due to a misclick. This will happen to you in the absolute worst times. I have so much beef with my mouse sometimes, but it is what it is. It happens. Up next, we got the pre-move. We got Hikaru right here, one of the fastest chess players. I didn't know how I was going to show this, so we got Hikaru. But on chess.com, you can only do this online. You just move your piece where you want it to go before your opponent makes their move, so that happens instantly. It takes up 0.1 seconds on chess.com. I think it takes no time on Lichess. It's really handy, especially when you're in low time situations. Next, we got Bullet, Blitz, Rapid. These are just time controls. They shape how long each player has to move. At my work, actually, I'm known as a chess guy now. One of the coworkers, boss or coworker, I don't know, but he has like he wants to play increment, and he didn't know how to do that. So that's what that 3. So that first 3 is like 3 minutes. That dash indicates increment, meaning he gets 2 seconds after every move. It's kind of difficult. I wish they explained it better, but that's really what it is. So if you ever see like 3-2 or whatever this is, 3-2, boom, you got 2 seconds bonus. If you see 5-5, it's 5 minutes with 5-second bonus every single time you make a move. You should probably learn that. But I like to play like 3-2 a lot, just because I think it's the best mix. But now we're on to level 3. Advanced words, 1200 ELO and above. Congratulations if you're still here. That means you want to become better than 1200, or you're already there. Then I don't know why you're watching this video. But we have Zwischenzug. I hope I said that right. I actually have a German kid on my team. I hope he'll tell me if I said it wrong or right, I guess. But an in-between move that interrupts the opponent's idea. So in this scenario right here, of course it looks like we can just trade queens, right? It's just a trade. You take here, the knight takes back. No. What we're going to do beforehand is with our bishop, we're going to take their knight with check, meaning they have to respond. They take back. Now we take that queen for free. That's all it is. It's a big tech that's going to come up a lot, and it doesn't have to be with check. Just look out for it. Like, switch up the move orders whenever you take pieces. That's how you find it. Up next, we got Zugzwang, another word that I'm probably saying wrong. But in this scenario, it's like any situation where like you make a move, you're just in a worse position. So if it's blacks to move, like they got to move their rook somewhere, either here. They move it here. This is checkmate. If they move it here, this is checkmate. Then yeah, that's the whole thing. Up next, we got the perpetual check. This is annoying and or amazing. So usually this happens when you're in a losing position, or you should look for it in a losing position. But it's whenever like you're just going to keep checking somebody until you force a draw from threefold repetition. Oh, I forgot to write that. Threefold repetition. If the same position gets reached 3 times, okay? You should know that. But boom, you go here, they're forced to go here. You go back, they're forced to go here, and there's like no way to get out of it. You can save a lot of losing positions looking for perpetual checks. Opposition. It's a king versus king endgame concept, controlling squares. Like, I think I have a video on it. If not, you should go look it up on YouTube. But it's just a way to help win like a pawn, king and pawn endgame. You just always want to be opposite of them. So like if you're playing defense, if white were to go here, you would want to go here. Because if you go the opposite way, you allow them to step forward and promote. You just want to like mirror them basically. We got triangulation. I know I've made a video on this. It's somewhere on my page, but you should also go and look it up on YouTube because I don't know if I do a great job explaining it. But it's basically wasting a tempo to put your opponent in Zugzwang. Previous, terms. But yeah, you just that triangle. You can actually waste a move. So like if you're in opposition, you can do that triangulation, and you might get a favorable position from it. That's a lot. I know it's a lot. Go watch a dedicated video for it. I'm not going to explain it right now because I'm not. I know what it is. I'm not great at explaining it. Sorry. But next we got shouldering. Just using the king to push the enemy king away. If you know chess, kings can't touch each other. So just being side by side so that you have some space between each other, but you can force them to like not be able to protect their pawns, and boom. I don't even know if I'm going to cut that. Level 4, please get a life. I'm calling you a nerd, okay? If you know these and you understand how to apply them in games, go touch grass, me included, because like knowing the word's one thing, but being able to apply these things is totally another thing for everything we've said, but especially for these. Prophylaxis. It's a word everybody says. It's a word everybody loves, and I feel like nobody actually knows how to do it, me included. So prophylaxis is like preventing your opponent's plans before they happen. Simple. Prophylaxis should be like for everything. Savings accounts prophylaxis. But it's not being reactionary. Like if let's say your opponent attacks you, your reaction is not prophylaxis. It's just a reaction. It's doing the work beforehand. So for this instance, the rook, we got back rank mate that might happen if this rook were to move. So prophylaxis is, I'm going to create a luft. I have a getaway square. Even though it's not even a threat, I'm just going to stop it from happening in case, for the future. You should probably do that. Especially because you're human and you're going to make mistakes. You should really do it. Next up, we got under promotion. Again, it's a concept, makes sense. It's hard to know when to do it. But for this instance right here, if we were to promote to a queen, it would actually be stalemate because all of the king squares are cut off. I'll let you visualize that. But if you promote to a rook, the king can now go to this square right here. You can now go up and boom, you can walk your king over and give a simple mate. I have saved games actually from under promotion, and I've won or drawn games because they promoted to a queen, not thinking about what my move would have been next. Next up, weak square complex. Another one that's like simple to get, hard to apply. So right here we got backwards pawns, boom, boom, boom. But the light squares are really weak here. Okay, and this rook can't fight for it. This rook really can't fight for it, but we can at least have the pawn breaks to get to it. Once again, in application, it's gonna make you a really good player. I can't explain that for you right now. I just gave you the sauce. You got to go actually apply it to your burger, chicken nugget, whatever. Next up, we got novelty. It's a new move in opening theory. Didn't have an image, so boom, we got this penguin playing chess. Novelties can be good or bad. It doesn't inherently mean one or the other, but 9 times out of 10, if you found a novelty, it was probably a bad move. Yeah. So, level 5, we got Gibby Slang. This is for all levels. This is, if you're gonna watch my videos, you should probably know this. We got type. It's supposed to be type, other word, but I don't want to use a bad word, so boom, we got future. A good definition for this, if you don't know what type means, I don't know, it just applies to a lot of things. Like if someone says my knees are hurting, I'd be like type, like I get it, me too. Or like it's a understanding, like yeah, I don't want to go out tonight, but we can stay home and chill. Type, you know, it just fits or it doesn't. Um, yeah. So another thing, when I in my games, I'll say let's go here. Usually that happens after I spent like 4 or 5 minutes calculating a line, and then I realized it doesn't work, and I was like, oh dang, I wasted so much time calculating this line. So I'm gonna play the move that I feel just off vibes. It's a bad habit I have, but I do it. So every time I say let's go here, just know I did not think about it. Next up, we got dope. Um, it just means cool, good. I've been saying that a lot recently. My soccer kids keep mistaking it for go when it's conditioning. I'm not good at pronouncing my words, but yeah. This should be an interesting one. This I'm nervous to play, and will likely throw my game away. Actually, look at my latest Road to 2000 Elo. I started off saying this is gonna be an interesting one, and I threw the game, but my opponent happened to throw it worse, so it worked out. But yeah, I get nervous when I play. So if I say that, I'm probably nervous. And last but certainly not least, we have I sold. I threw a win away due to a lack of composure in the final third. Um, you just gotta have composure. Sometimes I don't. I sell the game. You gotta have your own context, because if you don't understand that, I can't. And I think it's just something you gotta feel, and then you'll understand what I mean by I sold. But yeah, you have any questions? Thank you. Peace.